Hey, how's it going there, guys? Elton here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, in the Hochelaga sector of Montreal. And I've been wanting for a while to do a video of what's for sale and what I have on my walls that's mostly for sale. And this includes my paintings and lots of my vintage ads and pictures and stuff. So without further ado, let's get this started because there's a lot of stuff to show you and talk about. I want to also mention right off the top, I should mention that some of this stuff I can ship and some of it I don't want to ship because it's too big or it's too fragile or both. So let's start right here. Well, first of all, you recently saw an update on the MR63 Metro. I wanted to work on it last night, but I was too tired. And today I'm not going to have time because today being Wednesday, the 20th of June, this is the second to last day. The last train is in service, the last MR63. So I'm going to go meet Julian later on and go take a ride on the Orange Line. And this last run is going to be tomorrow at rush hour evening on the Blue Line, of all fucking things, the Blue Line! Anyway, so regardless that I'm still feeling tired today because I've been so busy lately, and I'm going to show you what I got here. That's, again, like I said, I got the pole lamp here with the two lights on to help out with as much lighting as possible to make things look great wherever we are in my place. So this is as you can see, comparatively here to size, this is a drawing I did back in 2009, interior view of Montreal bus when I was a kid. I remember sometimes sitting in the front and watching the bus driver driving those new looks, or even the classics, of course, and turning that big steering wheel and having to hold on to the railing there because, you know, with the coil spring and all the air suspension, the bus would just, you know, roll to one side because it was such a hard turn, and you would only, like, for, you know, a second or two have a view of, let's say, the grass, for example. This is actually a photo I took of one of the preserved units, one of the preserved CTC buses, Montreal bus, that I used for this drawing. And the background is actually from Google Street View. I think I used of the corner of Fielding Street and Broadway. Again, so this I can't ship it, it's glass, I won't take it apart. This has actually had something else framed in it before that. Was actually one of my drawings I think my mom had framed for me as a gift. And I think the color doesn't show up as well here. Maybe it's because I got the camera in a different setting. But anyway, it's an amazing piece, and this is really for serious people. Please don't say, you know, I'll give you $100 but the need something. No. This is like $300, okay? So, you know, again, it's for serious people. People have money, especially not for people who are broke like me, you know, who live in a poor town like I do here in Hochelaga and places like that. No offense to you millennials, most of you don't have any money, so again, this is really just eye candy for you. Here's the 61 Monarch Richelieu, the Canadian version of the full-size Mercury Monterey that I completed well, just a few months ago. And happy to show it again. And as somebody had commented, I got so much of a positive response. Somebody had commented and was intelligent to mention that this painting is worth like $1,000, and that's what I'd like to get for it, because it took me like, what, 7 months to finish it. This is unrelated to cars here, but this is a poster I bought, a reprint poster I bought of promoting Elvis, 4 weeks only in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! And anyway, so this poster was rarer than I thought when I looked it up on eBay not long ago, and I had a white border, and it wasn't even on eBay. There's none. Nothing even similar to it. So this was a frame I bought used, and it had a plexiglass instead of real glass, and it's all fucking scratched, so I said the hell with it, I chucked it out. And I just framed it like that, just like so. Like I said, I cut out the white borders I didn't like around the print. I thought it was distracting. This is a picture here that I got out of a book of, I don't know, world events, famous events, something like that. And you could see, yeah, it's the Hindenburg, oh, the humanity, as the reporter once said in the reportings of the Hindenburg exploding, hitting that tower in New Jersey in 1937. Just such a tremendous and powerful image that Led Zeppelin decided to incorporate it on the cover of their Led Zeppelin 2 album, which featured such songs as Heartbreaker and Whole Lotta Love in 1969. And there's the Plymouth Fury, the Christine, or Plymouth Belvedere, if you will. It is a Belvedere, actually, because I think only the Fury had the huge big chrome bumper ends that would kind of wrap around up like this, and just a massive mean looking mother, you know. Now this one has got less work in it than the Monarch, but it's not $1,000, but it ain't far either. So again, if you're serious, normally I'd say I would have said I wouldn't ship these, but it's not like they're glass. It's just it's really expensive to ship a painting this size. Last time I did it, it was by FedEx because I didn't want to do like anybody else. I wanted to deal with the best courier company, and I researched it, and apparently it was FedEx, and it was like $250 just to ship a painting this size to a guy I know in New Jersey. What's up, whoever you are? If you know who you are, that just it's not what I mentioned there. And here's a painting I did years ago. When I mean years ago, I mean, I don't know, about 5 years ago. My love for old cars, of course, continues into limousines, and in the old days, in the 50s and the 40s and up, or 30s and up even, especially up until the oil crisis, and even a bit after, there were different companies, coach builders, that built, you know, limousines and funeral coaches and stuff like that, and ambulances. And this one was a company called Armbruster Superior, and yeah, they definitely took the full-size 65 Chevy Impala like in previous or post years and made, you know, 6 and 8-door limousines like this. And since I developed a fondness for jet planes, especially the big ones like that 747, I said, I'll do a 747 on landing. Make it look like maybe near, you know, Dorval Airport here in Montreal. Hence the 1970 license plate I used. Quebec plate, I should say, and this Iberia. And I picked Iberia because, well, I used a picture I had of an Iberia jet plane in that same regard. This, I just bought this recently, last week actually. This is an amazing, amazing fucking laminated on wood poster from 2008. Amazing. I had to have it, even though, frankly, I overpaid for it because I bought it in I bought it in Salvation Army 2 blocks north of my place. I paid $15 for it. I mean, it's really big. It's an amazing look. You got all the different types of fire trucks there. I mean, Makers, Mack, and Seagrave, and it goes on and on. Really fantastic. And I said I paid too much for it also because it's not very old, but I had to actually touch up with paint all the edges that were buggered up, which they typically are in these, you know, these wood type of laminated jobs. So if you want that, well, I'm not going to sell it for less than 30 because A, I just got it, I'm still enjoying looking at it, and B, I put some work into it, so I'm not going to sell it for less than that. Yeah, this is not totally in the best place to show this, like right next to the window here. I just moved this plant here. I just, actually I got this plant from my mom as a gift years ago, and I just put it in a bigger pot plant, bigger, not a bucket, but you know, bigger. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting older. I'm blanking out. So check this out. This is going to be a future project here. I bought this this year, a few months ago, I think. Man, it cost me a lot. This kit, $70, man. Got it at a hobby shop. I never remember the name actually of it. Nearby, and most of the stuff you see here is not for sale. Because they were gifts. That Chevy, I might sell it. That one I built in, oh my God, the early 90s. It's a 112 scale, it's huge. That ambulance window, I just did a video of that recently. That's from a late 70s Dodge, Montreal Dodge Police ambulance. Believe me, I know my stuff, I researched it. And then you got some other die casts I've had for years I won't sell. That was a gift. Optimus Prime, not for sale. Not for sale. Picture of my dad's girlfriend, not for sale. And yeah, so now we move into the hallway, and I've rearranged some things to, I don't know, make things more in how should I say, a pattern, you know, of what you see and how I see it. So this isn't really for sale. I bought this a few years ago at the Expo Rail Museum, the Canadian Railway Museum in Saint-Constant, Montreal streetcar, I think circa 1915, I believe. It was rare actually to see them with middle rear doors like that, like on a bus. That was one of the things I thought that was interesting, especially since it's also the Lachine route. It appears like it would have been a photo taken in Lachine or even St. Henry. This one, this is something. Some of you might recognize that frame. That is a vintage teak frame, and these are very collectible today. Teak is a very high quality wood. It's a beautiful frame, but the fucking thing dropped a few years ago. So it got damaged to the corner, and it had before a 58 Plymouth Fury had like the same size as this one here, but I sold that, and in place I put this Canadian Pacific ad in here for the dome liner train with the Bud cars, but the glass doesn't come out of the frame, so I had a hard time sizing my paper here to frame it. So I'm gonna have to fix this whole thing again. Also, I thought, oh, I'll leave this original, because that's what these pages look like a lot of times when you pull them out. They're in two pieces and they're not even, so I would have to actually even all that out, cut that out and cut it down here. I don't really feel like it. It's just, I don't know, it's the only frame I ever had where it just seems like I've screwed around with it twice. This is a San Francisco streetcar, PCC car as it's known. And what a many vintage streetcars in the San Francisco fleet. Because don't forget, there's the cable cars, and then there's the streetcars. And as far as I know, they have also an ex-Toronto unit. This is a photo I took in 2006. It's kind of fitting with that Pontiac Grand Am. Original photo, one of a kind. Again, you know, when it comes to prices, I'm very reasonable. Like this here, you know, like I'd like to have like 40 bucks for it, but I probably won't get that. This I'd like to get like, oh, I don't know, let's say about $70. This is a drawing I did of a Longueuil, South Shore of Montreal, Longueuil, STRSM bus, Société Transport Réseau Rive-Sud de Montréal, and now it's known as the STL, Société Transport Longueuil, GM New Look, and that is from a slide photo. I did this picture that was originally taken in downtown Montreal, 1997. This bus here seen on layover on De La Gauchetière Street. This is not for, this is, oh, I don't know, I was asking about 300 on Kijiji, again, professionally framed, so that cost me a few bucks, probably about 100, I don't know, 120 or so. This is not for sale. I had Ben do that for me a few years ago. Ottawa New Look did a great job. Not bad for a kid who was like 18, eh? He did the Metro here, MR73. You can see why I don't want to sell these. Very nice job. See why I have them framed. Have them here together here in my hallway. There's my dryer. Exciting. This is a yeah, 1980 Goodyear ad. Really cool. It's a bit in the dark, as you can see, but still, I'm trying to show you well I can. You got the Pontiac Trans Am. You got your Dodge. What is it? Warlock pickup. You got your Datsun 280Z. F1 car is fantastic. Here's a 1974 Pontiac Le Mans ad. And this one here, by the way, yeah, that's an old frame I bought secondhand, cleaned it up, did all the matting and everything, just like these guys. But this one I want, well, I wanted 20 bucks, but I won't take less than 15, really. There's more work involved in this than this one. This one, I believe it or not, I'll only sell it for 10 bucks because it's a plexiglass. It's got scratches in the glass. I don't know if you can see it. And it didn't take me long to frame it, so and the ad alone is worth 5 to 10. So if you come to my place, you're not going to waste your time. That's why I'm doing this video too, is trying to drum up some business from lack of sales on the eBay and Kijiji in the last month or two, I should say. Here's a picture. This is from part of a calendar, a French-Canadian calendar from DuPont. Unfortunately, it's really not in the best place to show it, actually, as you can see. 54 Buick Skylark. Yeah, this was part of an 85 DuPont Paints calendar, and I have other pictures from that too, you'll see in a moment. And just to quickly go in my bathroom there, well, here I am, hello! These guys, they're not really for sale. I bought these art pieces actually in a shop in Eastern Townships. Damn it, I don't remember where again, what town was it again. Anyway, here's a 58 Cadillac, a beautiful ad. Look at that, it's just gorgeous. Coupe de Ville, beautiful old school blue. And look what it says at the top there, leadership. So yeah, it also says a message. It's inspiring. It's about, you know, I mean, if you were a leader and you were making serious fucking coin back then, and you could afford to spend you know, like 8-10 grand on a car, you were a leader, you know, even if that wasn't officially your title. And there's the famous New Look painting that I can't believe I've never fucking sold it. It's like, I think if I lived in New York, I'd probably sell that to a former Montrealer in a heartbeat, like that. And I once had an offer for this thing years ago when I had it hung up in a restaurant. It wasn't framed, and the guy made an offer for $200, and I refused it. And it wasn't even a bad offer. Here's a 56 Studebaker Commander. Unfortunately, the light bulb is reflecting in the ad there. There we go. Yeah, I framed that myself once again. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'd buy a frame and, you know, regardless of the size or color, I would find something that I could fit in there, you know, you know what I understand what I'm saying? Anyway, and, oh yeah, for you boat lovers, look at this. I don't know where this picture was taken. I bought this many years ago, secondhand, and just a beautiful vintage picture, nice sepia quality to it, the color, the sunset, I don't know where it was, could have been here in Canada, States, I don't know. Very nice. And we're going to finish here in my office. I'm going to go in my room because it's dark in there and I have to get the light in there, and there's only a few pieces in there anyway, so. But you can see I have a wide variety of stuff in here. Where do I begin? Okay. The 57 Fairlane photo, that's a one-of-a-kind photo. I took that back in 2004, had it enlarged years later, just framed it recently. And I'm not crazy. See, I'm reasonable. I want 30 bucks for that. This one I just framed last night, actually. That's a 1961, I think, Champion ad. Had it a long time on it. Fuck, I'm gonna go close the window. Yeah, to close the window there. Some guy's cutting something there in the yard, a courtyard. Anyway, I just framed this guy last night. I had a long time. I had this 1961, 63. I had this ad a long time on eBay and it didn't sell. So you know what? I think it's so cool. You know this. I think it's a DC-8 or a 707 United Airlines plane going to take off. And that's how they were. They were all fucking smoky like that, you know? That's really cool. So I like to have 15 for that. Or closest offer. Same thing for this guy. This is a French-European Michelin ad. 1972. Very nice Ferrari Daytona racing. This is a picture from a book on San Francisco from the 1970s. Got a Ford Maverick there, which, by the way, there was a Ford Maverick parked almost in front of my place yesterday, late afternoon when I walked out. There's an El Camino in there. Cable cars, 1970s. This was in my hallway up until this morning. Old, I think it's a Superior ladder truck. There's a drawing I did in '93, Mercury Capri RS. That's an original drawing, by the way. Now, my mom, years ago, as a gift back in the 90s, when there was all the Rachel laminate stuff on wood, she had a whole bunch of my drawings laminated. I sold most of them except for this one. So I got some guy in mind that I know, a certain guy in Griffintown has one of these, buddy. I'll make you a deal on that. This picture actually is a photo that I scanned from I scanned a postcard. I have just a very small collection of postcards. This photo was taken in, I think near Rimouski, Quebec, and there's a 70 Delta 88, there's 69, there's a Camaro, 70, 71 SS, the Motel Beau Rivage, very nice, and I, you know, old frame, it looks like 80s. Here's a 1933 Bentley. This is a 64, I'm just speeding this up because I'm kind of tired and I have to still charge the battery there because I got to leave later. 65 Lincoln Continental ad. This is a 58 Buick ad that is one of a kind because I colored it by hand. Both of those Buicks, the one at the top and the one at the bottom. Yeah. This one is only 10 bucks because the glass is cracked right across, as you can see. That's why I put that ad in there. If I put a white colored ad like all these there, the crack would show even more. That's a 65 Chrysler Newport ad. And here's a rare 49 Fraser. Shit, I was thinking actually what I should have done instead of framing this thing, I framed it because the edges were in such fucking terrible condition. I said, if I don't frame it, the paper is so old it just tears very easily. I said, I should have not framed it and I should have floated it onto these guys I'm subscribed to near Edmonton or Calgary, and they go by the name of Cold War Motors, and they have one of these cars. And it's roadworthy. They saved it. The fucking thing was just rotting, whatever, probably in a field somewhere in Alberta, just like so many cars they save, and they just get them running, and some of them are safetied for the road, some of them aren't. This is an ex-friend of mine gave me that. That's a 67 Oldsmobile Delta 88 picture with one of the earliest Oldsmobiles. And that's an original photo that I took in 2009, the Verdun sector here in Montreal. That's a 75 Monte Carlo. This one I don't want too much for it because actually the frame is scratched. It's an old IKEA frame. It's aluminum, but it's scratched up. But it's still a really cool photo. It's a funny thing with the doghouse on the top. Again, this is a one-of-a-kind print. There are no other prints, not even 4x6. It's digital, you know. Let's say 50 bucks. Here's a 65 Buick Riviera. Look, a lot of stuff I let go for cheap, because to me when it comes to money is you win some, you lose some, okay? And I price things to sell. Some of them I'll make a few bucks at them, some of them not. Especially if it's the stuff that I created, such as this drawing of Elio's Pizzeria with a 64 Lincoln Continental. This drawing, no, that's not cheap, eh? This is like 300 bucks, man. You know, hell, this is all done in drawing with pen and markers, and even the sky, I did it all in acrylic paint. You know, I'll give you another look of it there. Professionally framed. So yeah, I won't sell it for under 300. There's an original 54 Hudson Hornet Jet. Yeah, that was actually Hudson's brief stint into the more compact cars. Sorry, did I say Hudson Jet? Yeah, that's what it is, a Hudson Jet, yeah, Hornet and Wasp. And there was a smaller version. This is a Imperial, 1928 Imperial ad, Chrysler. These are originals, eh, by the way? If I always say originals, because everything I sell practically is original. I want people to know there's no bullshit with me. It's all original ads, original photos, paintings, you know? This one's not showing up well. There's a lot of reflection going on this. That's a 68 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Very nice. Yeah, framed of course by yours truly. The models are not for sale. I always reiterate that, because I hate to say it, but people buy a lot more models than I made almost all these. They buy a lot more models than pictures, unfortunately. And there's the another drawing that my mom had laminated for me when I did a series of drawing in 93, 94. That's a 78 Plymouth Valkyrie Roadrunner. All backgrounds from my imagination. I've always had quite the imagination. 58 Oldsmobile ad, laminated on wood, great shape. 56 DeSoto Fireflight Sportsman that I did many years ago, even before I did this series of drawings. This was like, I don't know, probably 92, 91. I was maybe 15, 14 when I did this. Here's some I'll sell for 10 bucks. It's something that came out of an 82 Life magazine, showing the last of the checker cars being made. And this is a Canadian 54 Ford ad, Ford parts. This is a really neat item. It's not showing up well, but... And then we got little things here like 1935 Plymouth ad. This one, I just really did this one for myself. This is a picture actually of the flash flood, the serious flooding that occurred here in Montreal back in 1987 due to 3 thunderstorms. And I think this was on Papineau. Just classic. I got this picture out of a book. Well, I cut it out of a book. Here's one of my photos on Ontario Street downtown, 59 Chevy Biscayne. This was in 99, I think. 98, 97. Yeah, here's a picture of my 65 LeSabre. Took many photos of that car. I love that car, man. Great driving car. Not perfect, needed a little work here and there, but here's a 76 Mercury Marquis, just like Uncle Buck's. And oddly enough, it was fittingly parked at the Olympic Village here in Montreal, which was completed for the 76 Olympics. So something like that, 30 bucks, just like that Fairlane. Okay, another enlarged print of a San Francisco Muni PCC streetcar. This one at the end of the line on Castro Street in Market. And again, the frame is scratched because I moved so many times, and yeah, you know, make me an offer. 49 Cadillac painting I did, a little painting, but as I did another video, well, I'd like to get 100 bucks for it, because if you look at it this way, never mind the materials or the idea, but I mean, you know, let's say 10 hours I figured I put in it, 10 bucks an hour, that's 100 bucks. Here's a couple of pictures of Montreal GM New Look buses. This one I just had it made for myself. Actually, I didn't take this photo. This photo's from online. But this photo actually I had blown up years ago from a slide photo I bought on eBay. And yeah, this is 30 bucks. There's the rest of that calendar I showed you earlier with that Buick Skylark from 86. And there's Expo 86 in the background of that Dodge Coronet. Yeah! And finally, a very rare 58 Edsel Bermuda wagon. Framed. Yeah, this one took some work to it. That one, 20 bucks. Yeah, because I had to do the matting and everything, and it's one of these frames also that's a vintage frame, like it's metal, and the back of it, it's not clips or anything. Like the back of these frames, you have to unscrew everything on all the corners. It's a big fucking job. Anyway, guys, so I hope you liked it, and the camera's really hot right now, and I have to charge it up because I'm going out later to final. Like I said, one of the last rides on the MR63 Metro, the last one in service, and then I'm going to go to the Orange Jewel, check out the classic cars. So if you see anything you like, send me a private message. You can also call me if you're a serious buyer and you're looking for stuff for your office or your home or your man cave or whatever the case. I'm a very reasonable guy. Come over, I'll make you a nice cup of coffee. And everything is debatable, discussable. Everything except the original artworks that I did. The paintings, those are not really... You know, you can see my facial expression, not too negotiable. So, anyway, that's it. So, I hope you liked it. And, you know, Godspeed and all that jazz. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.